I grabbed some more water, some laundry moved around, used the bathroom, got some grapes. I can't wait until the baby's old enough to start, like, feeding him food and stuff. The other door was out this way. Someone's been sleeping here recently. Cindy?
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But here you are.
That's right, we've evolved.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool mutations.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
Mmm.
Red-dyed heavy fuel oil is only used in government vehicles, or at least that's the idea.
We won't talk about the murder, but maybe you can tell something about the missing armor?
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
It's an armor art for the body?
Ugh, alright. Sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell. If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time!
Okay.
Piggy, I have no idea why I just told you that. You look like a shaggy dog left in the rain for too long. I have a weakness for animals.
Is that government fuel oil?
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
Seems bad for you.
Something to think about next time you're driving around in your pretty little piggy carriage.
Is the bed yours?
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Don't you have a real home?
Does anyone in a city like this?
Not the nicest place, but I guess it'll have to do.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me.
Hi.
Right now, I'm doing nothing at all. Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
Hi. Okay, so there's the armored gloves. We got the money out of the thing. Someone has torn down the wall. Okay. Sea below looks cold and winter gray. Oh, is this gonna be somewhere I can sleep? Maybe not. There's no bed. An old grocery list on the table and checks.
What happened here?
You can't foreclose on an apartment with a hole in the wall.
It will still be accessible through the apartment next to it. That one didn't have a door. Sadly, nothing of great value remains here.
There's always a little something in the fridge.
Indeed.
Okay. Okay, so there's nothing else in here. Wait, there's a box here. Okay. Hi. You just want to be with mommy to sleep? Is that it? Okay, so there's nothing else here. I wonder if I can... Man, I have an idea. I want to try something. Can I rebind... Where's tab? Oh, I can't rebind anything anyways. BS. Oh, right-click highlights. Sweet. Okay. Let's go down to the fishing village then. I do get experience for looking at these bubbles and... Oh, pate.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito. Oh, here's a person.
Good morning to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company and eating his salami.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and grey overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer?
What caused the wreckage?
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Revachol. Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then.
Okay.
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it. Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
Can I have some salami?
Sure thing.
It is salty, it is savory, it is chewy. The hangover only makes the salami more tasty.
Want some too, officer?
Why not?
That healed me, though. Wait, so is this all I can do then for now?
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal, some other way.
Okay.
Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
Yes.
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box, a variety of shapes and colors.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
These are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses made of cheap Syrahese plastic, the kind of plastic that melts in the sun. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything, these lenses probably direct more UV light into your pupils. A UV magnifier.
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool, UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool while doing your dangerous police work.
No luck.
Nope.
All you find is this lime-colored cellophane visor, produced by a bargain sportswear brand called Amphibian, apparently. There's a malformed green frog on its bent cap.
Oh, that visor is perfect for you, officer. It'll definitely keep the sun out of your eyes while you're shooting criminals. Bang, bang! And all for a mere 6 real.
Hey, at least it might actually offer some protection against the sun, not like those cheap plastic shades.
Put the visor
Don't
back.
like it? Sure, Square Joe. No problem. Let's get you some real shades.
Oh my god, it actually looks like a frog. If I get more money, we're coming back for the frog hat. Why the hell not?
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin. The name Sileng is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool here. Everything's cool. The goods are cool, the customers are cool, the place is cool. And one more thing, officer, you're Very cool. Bang, 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 bang!
Wow.
You feel a twitch in your index fingers. There's a finger shootout brewing.
No, it's a safety hazard.
What? No finger pistols, officer? Pew pew!
I'm here on official
The
business.
lieutenant nods approvingly.
You're right, officer. 100%. No playing around then. Strictly business. Maybe I can interest you in some premium menswear instead.
Food packages you're selling have humanitarian aid written on them. How come?
You mean these delicious pre-packaged shelf-stable meal kits? Really easy to cook, no hassle, really cheap too. Buy some, try them out.
No hassle. There's a little of a hassle here, it appears. A moral hassle.
Does that beat the idea of humanitarian aid?
It is practically free. Yours for 5 cents a piece. Rock that tuna. Why not some macaroni too?
I think one's enough for resale.
No problem here, officer. I get all this from one of my suppliers, an extremely reputable guy.
Wait. Humanix. Humanitarian aid.
Does your supplier drive that car?
What?
A convincing performance. Bravo.
Look, officer, I'm just a retailer. You'd have to talk to my supplier if you got questions about the supply chain. That's how the game works.
Interesting.
+1 humanitarian aid macaronis. Yes.
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
Think of it as an investment.
An investment? What kind of investment?
I'm a policeman. It's an investment in good relations.
I hear you, officer. What kind of a sum are we talking about here?
10 real.
Sounds like a fair deal all around.
Okay. Cool.
Corruption.
Now I have 10 more real. I could go back and buy the hat off of the frog hat. Okay, let me see my journal again. Okay, so this just has to happen. Have to talk to... Have to find my badge. Who made the call? Okay. I haven't found that yet. Okay, I can go do this. Then I have to wash the boots, but I think I have to do that when the guy is away.
In the morning light, the white on blue police livery on the motor carriage cannot but catch your eye.
Why am I even thinking about this? Wasn't I supposed to...
Do something important? Something murder related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery. This is a Caprice Kanema, The Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful workhorse, Caprice 40, and the answer to the Lum's racing breed,
I'm gonna
Fur
try and
series.
put the baby back down. Because he's been asleep pretty much since I took him. Just does not like to... Come on. Come on. Get right here. We'll see if he stays down. He may or may not. Alright, let's continue.
With its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine, driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox, the Kanema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds, and go on to a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour.
Wouldn't it roll over at the first sharp corner? It kind of looks like it would.
The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Kanema effectively a mobile power plant.
I still feel like that engine being up high, though, would discount that. Like, counteract that.
Even at a standstill, the unibody Caprice Kanema looks sleek and dynamic. The cabin is tilted frontward to give it a more aggressive, hunched look. Someone has waxed it recently.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. You want to take a closer look?
A fine machine.
Yes. An extraordinary machine.
It's nice and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it. Flare it up. Slam it down. Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot.
Never thought about switching to helium headlights.
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first.
If you ever get this case off, maybe we can do
Maybe.
that. Yeah, there's something
Yes,
about being held that, like, just
definitely,
calms him down. As soon as I put him down, it's a little fussy again, eh? I'm stretching you.
And means no.
What's it packing in the engine?
130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there. Man, that's got to be a major advancement over the KR-18GU engine on the old Caprice 40.
That's a 7-liter V12?
7.2. Supercharged.
Okay.
130.
I reckon that's a 7. Man, that's got to...
Yeah, you know it?
Just the basics.
Yes, that's right. I'm very impressed that you know these things.
Okay. When I come back to the body again, we're gonna check this out really quick.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked. The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
Okay, so there's this here now.
Your
Yes!
arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent. They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in. You're not far. It'll come to you. Keep crawling. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing.
Did we find something in the mouth?
Fumes rising from the throat, and there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
The abrasion collar.
Abrasion collar.
Touch it with your finger.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Put your finger in the hole.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Feel around first.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again. Never wake.
Push deeper.
Your fingers slide into the
I can find a
remains of
bullet.
his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The
Yeah.
slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
We're mushing around in his brains.
This is what he used to regulate his emotions with. The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Push deeper.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow.
Wriggle
Your
in.
fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper, until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin.
I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
Fish it out. Yes!
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
Only put
The
your fingers
inside
in.
of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
Yes. So somebody shot him in the mouth. If the lividity was consistent with the hanging, though, then the hanging must have been very, very shortly after the shot.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
And I haven't.
Of course. You've earned it. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Say nothing, just nod.
Union, fatal injury.
Agreed.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion? Non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
he's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Agreed. I mean, I kind of thought that to
I
begin
have
with.
had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
Maybe the bullet, who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Maybe the bullet holds more answers.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
What happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
You'll be gone? What should I do?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks, and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
I'm gonna try this one more time, because why not?
The fish lips stay silent in response. You must be losing your mind.
I told you, he is male, 40 to 50, with an athletic build. All right. I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
I don't think I want him to watch for what we're doing next.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found.
Feel the bullet through the bag.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You
Continue.
wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
Okay. What do I do with you?
The squished little thing has no idea. I know. You should find the gun that shot this bullet.
It's my friend. I'm gonna start talking to her. I feel like there's gonna be a need to play this game through again and just play as crazy as humanly possible. Because right now, I'm trying to play like a real detective. I want to play it through again at some point and just play as crazy as fucking possible.
That sounds like something a police detective would do. First, you should learn all you can about this little guy. Then find the gun that shot it and the person that gun belongs to. He used it to kill your victim. Neato. The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
Continue.
The core is lead. The brass jacket probably didn't cover the entire bullet. Otherwise, the softer metal wouldn't have expanded quite like that.
Okay, look at the
You
jacket.
can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet.
Striations.
Little hairlines, linear. It feels
Striations
standard.
would be AI. The core.
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound. What's interesting about the bullet thus far?
It's a soft point bullet with a lead core and a brass jacket, close to 5 millimeters in diameter. Didn't it say 5? Oh, the base of the bullet.
Exactly. A very unusual jacketed bullet. One that would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzle-loader like those typically found on the streets of Martinaise. Very interesting. You have an unusual military-grade bullet in your hand. Now all you need is to find a gun that could fire it.
Oh, wow. 97% chance to get it.
A rifle, Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique. The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the
Good thing I
Belmont
didn't sell the
rifle,
gun.
a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber. No, but Zeliga, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Who uses them these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
Okay.
Back at the station, the lieutenant is standing at a counter, diligently filling out paperwork to hand over to a tired records clerk. You should share your findings with him as soon as possible.
Oh. I washed the boots yet?
This industrial gas pack, getting the corpse residue out of these boots is going to require patience, and also a huge pot full of boiling water, soap, and white vinegar.
Check out the
A
cookware.
commercial pot draws your attention. It's very large, gigantic even. It could be used to make enough stew to feed an entire city, and also to boil a putrid pair of death boots. There is a variety of soaps and bleaches in the cabinet to the left of the stove. There is also a bottle of white vinegar in the cabinet next to the fridge. It's bad with those boots. Don't be stingy now.
Pour dish soap and the vinegar.
The delicious smells of cheap soap and vinegar waft up from the pot. All right now, chef. Light up the stove and boil them. The strong smell of vinegar forces you to step away from the pot. The water slowly comes to a boil. Strips of polymer fabric and human tissue separate from the lining of the boots. They float to the bubbling surface. The boots look cleaner and cleaner. Those bits of human flesh are beginning to look cooked. You can smell it too, just like beef stew.
Yeah.
That's it, chef. The boots are as clean as they're going to get. Steam, dense with the smell of strange meat, disappears into the vent above the stove. A pair of real beauties. The boots are shiny, hot, and reek of vinegar. Just perfect.
Sweet.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent staple lock. It's painted blue.
I wonder if I should unlock another. Well, no, because I don't have Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Do I want... You know what? Let's do a visual calculus.
The cobalt blue surf old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years since this was painted, maybe. It leads to a side building, adjacent to this one. The old building next to this, half ruined. Whatever is behind it must be older.
Okay. It'd be out this way. I was hoping there'd be a way down there. It would be in here somewhere.
tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the
Okay, we have to go around the back then. And this way. Right here.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air. The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp. You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment.
Okay, let's use the
You
key.
try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. The sound of the key turning still echoes in the yard. Hopefully no one heard. There's nothing else to do than to leave and tell Everard. No conceivable reason for you to intrude on the premises. There might be important information in the apartment. I mean, there might.
Of course we're going inside. Hidden world of walking sticks. What, the bugs then?
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty. This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle.
What's the sevenfold
It's
sun?
an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag.
I don't know about 7, but I know that there are things called sundogs, and it's like 2 to 4, I think?
The flag accepts your honorable salute with quiet dignity. It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota.
What was my lower intestine going on about?
Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory system. Fascism, Brota. Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revachol's problems?
Thought you were my circulatory system.
Quit stalling, Bruta. We're talking about the weakest, worst, most insane thing. The weak link.
Financiers?
Yes, them. But also, Wermen.
What?
Wermen. Men of Wer. You don't like them. They're insane.
Well then.
Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Woo men need to go back to the fucking kitchen.
Wow.
That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that woo men need to know their place.
Yeah, hell no.
You're going to keep your vooz, right? Keep your vooz, Brota.
I'm not going to be plagued by an upset stomach.
There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment.
Okay. That looks like a nice shirt. Very nice. Whoever lives here admires fair-haired fantasy heroes with big muscles.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others.
I bet this is where the yellow monk came from.
A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. There's something disdainful in the way the curves and lines of the bodies were drawn. It looks like the artist is celebrating diversity, but underneath, he's just making fun of these people.
I don't think I like the owner of this apartment.
No one's telling you to like him. You might learn something from him, though.
Whip out the yellow man mug, yes.
Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines. The owner of this collection could be dumping his trash in the Whirling's container. An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road.
Is this really the same person?
Who knows? Could be. But this clothes in the trash lead doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere. Still, good thing to keep in mind. You could ask Everard who this person is once you're done here. A row of mugs sits on the shelf.
Okay, so that's just the same thing. Yeah, I don't know if there's too much else that I can do then, so... You can try talking to what's-his-face again? Just I know I'm not gonna be able to do much. I can go see if I can talk to somebody else about the tattoos.
Looking for something odd? Come to
Up here. You can go through here.
The file cabinet stands steady as ever, and the unlocked drawer slide.
Okay, still nothing here.
The already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you as you pick up. The machine
call anybody?
swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. That's the dialing code for Revachol. 4952. And a moment of hesitation before entering the final numbers.
Yeah.
993. Calling. Calling.
Okay.
Still calling. Then,
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lammy. How may I help you?
the voice of a youngster on the other end sounds as enthusiastic as that of a man walking towards the gallows.
Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lammy.
Do you know me?
No.
Why did I call you?
Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period?
My name is Harry Dubois. Do you have anything in my name?
Let me fire up the machine. Dubois. Dubois. Here we are. You haven't rented anything in 5 years, but you still have a copy of Blue Ocean Hell from November 46. Whoa, not a fun film, that one.
What kind of film is it?
It's not an easy watch. After the death of his daughter and subsequent divorce, Ziemsk immigrant Egidius Wojcik tries to come to terms with the onset of dementia. No wonder no one's been missing it. Still, it would be great if you could return it to us. We're on the corner of Voyager and Main.
The call is terminated by the other party. You're left with the discomforting sound of the disconnect tone.
Can I do anything with this again?
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, the container door appears unmoved by your attempt at flattery. The mundaneness of the situation does not seem to affect the container in the slightest. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric? Who understands anything you do?
Hey. Hey, come here then. You want to come here? Yeah. And then, you know, come watch Mommy play? We go! Hey! Alright. Yeah. I just want to talk to this guy and then I'll probably stop for the day just because I have food to make. Yeah?
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
What's in the container that's outside your office?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
The one attached to the crane.
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource,
Yeah.
and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Aren't you gonna ask me how I got in? No. I opened the door, you asked, and we discussed the
I'm
murder.
very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
He's trying to figure out if you're lying.
Do we want to tell him that we went in? Can I, like, save it in case I want to... I cannot. Okay, do we tell him the truth or not? He didn't want us to go in. Hey, what do you think? You're okay. Yeah. Oh boy, oh boy. Are you hungry? You want some food? Yeah? Mm-hmm. No, fuck it. I'm gonna say I saw the mugs.
Just as I thought. Culturally antiquated mug collection. What a weasel. Pissing on Everart's Rainbow Coalition.
He was testing you, and you succeeded.
Okay.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
The mug collection I mentioned was in the apartment. I found a similar mug in the trash.
Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? You guys are just light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do best. Helping people. With the power of politics. Oh, no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. I would never complicate things for you.
Say ah. Say ah. Ah. There you go.
Oddly, it seems to be true.
But the weasel might have cleaned up after the killers.
Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this.
I swear, this guy's face just reminds me of a blobfish.
But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are known to be neat freaks. I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right?
Say nothing.
Of course, Harry. Stoic silence. I like that. Very befitting a police officer. I'm not a real detective. You are.
Okay, I've heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike.
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines, sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
And our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire?
He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun.
I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Sadamoritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
You have a village elephant?
No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical and so is the village, but the mercs and their brutality are very real.
Go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Well, no wonder he's a frickin' blobfish.
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
How did he end up hanging from that tree?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
Who did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood. Making sure everything runs smoothly.
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
You done? Nope. Well, you gotta open.
They're
There
like
you
you.
That's not how it
people
works.
who want to make sure that bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
No. Okay, you don't seem to be actually hungry.
Again, that sounds like organized crime.
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land."
Alright. Let's flip you back over, eh? Is that better? There you go. Continue.
He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
heard
not
that.
at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested.
Oh, there
They're
goes more.
Martin A's boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error. Anyway.
How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the
How
shipping
do
company?
I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates. You said it, Harry. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
That does sound quite unlikely, yes. The big guy leading the scabs at the gate is colossal.
Okay. There was a bullet in the hangman's
So
head.
they shot him.
Yes, they shot him before they hanged him.
How odd. I don't know what to say, Harry. They told me they hanged him. A hanged man is what I saw when I took a look into that yard.
It's impossible to say if he's telling the truth, sire.
What I do know is, the case is in safe hands. If anyone can get to the bottom of this shot and hanged man, it's my favourite policeman,
You
Harry.
okay? Don't strain yourself. You gotta just let the farts go naturally.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that laudanum myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist
he only says
democratic
7.
movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative. Harry, they're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Is that a laugh or a cry?
He's betting on them being useless to you.
I've met the Hardys. Can you ask them to cooperate with me?
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
I don't need it. I only wanted you to help with the Hardy Boys.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else?
Good talk. Let's conclude for now.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet. Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
A man of the left, so you have to be a social democrat.
It's another corrupt scream, isn't it? I'm neither left nor right. I do what my heart tells me to do.
What does your heart tell you about your lost gun, Harry? Does it tell you to forget about it? Or do you think it wants to be found? I think it's lonely and cold. I think it wants to be found, and I have a proposal for you.
And what would that entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
What are the signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
Where is this place?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
What will happen to the current occupants?
They are just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
You're sure nobody's gonna be homeless?
Am I? Harry, these people, Martinez is the most important thing in my life. I would never let anything bad happen to them. We're gonna build a youth centre there. The value of their properties goes up and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out for these people, not pulling the rug from under them, Harry. I'm looking out for all of Martinez, not just the harbour. You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here.
I don't trust this guy,
You need
but...
to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the waterlock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then we can talk about your gun. Yes, my best men are tracking it down. Some kids saw some other kids running away with it. Some folks said a paranoid schizophrenic might have it. Leads are being checked, Harry. What's that, Harry? You're getting a little pale. Is it the words paranoid schizophrenic and lost gun in one sentence? Don't worry, it's just a lead. It'll probably turn out to be nothing.
Anything new to say about the
Certainly,
murder?
Harry. Nothing brightens my day like brainstorming these things with you. By all means, Harry.
No.
What's on your mind? Great! You want to bounce something off your old friend, Mr. Clare? Absolutely, Harry. What's on your mind?
Okay.
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
Okay.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum.
I may check it out, but not while I'm in front of him. I have a feeling that would be a bad idea. So we'll check that out next time. I'm gonna tap out my perception. And then I'm gonna call it a day there, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will be back. I'm not sure when. I gotta figure out what we're doing this week. But thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys all next time. Later, all.